When I was a student at MSU as an undergrad, 80 to 84, and at that time, Career Service was in the Student Services building. I remember needing a student job, and you walked over to get a list of student jobs or look at the student jobs board, which were all posted very neatly on two very large bulletin boards. And then you went to each department to apply. Everything was done at that point manually.
If you look at the history of Michigan State, when it was founded, it was the first school to do destination surveys. It was the first school that did recruiting trends, and they were the first to adopt technology, so we were the first ones to integrate computers into what we did. So we've always been innovative, we've always been figuring out, and so the network was just another way to be a leader.
There's basically two models for career services, the centralized and the decentralized. Centralized career services are great for administrators because you have one area and they do it all. A decentralized model is wonderful for students because it's based in colleges, etc. And that's really what became the foundation for the network. A combined model that was neither decentralized nor centralized, but really pulled the best of both worlds together.
Like other places I've worked in the past, we had a folder system. Students dropped their resume in an actual folder stating, I'm interested in interviewing for this particular company, whose name was written right on the folder. Of course, today we have an online tool. Currently we use a system called Handshake. 17 colleges make up Michigan State University. We've all agreed across campus to use the same system. I know no other university our size that works as a network like we do. Many universities of this size will use more than one system. Specific colleges on their campus will have a system, and it's only used for the students in that college. We've decided what we want to do is make it easiest for both students and employers. And if it's more challenging for us as a network, that's okay, because our constituents, the ones that matter most, are the ones that should benefit.
The evolution of the network over time, so over the last 15 years, while we started and the initial effort was to get into every college, we now have relationships with almost every unit on campus in some way. So we're connected to the Associate Provost for Undergraduate Education, the Associate Provost for Technology and Learning. We're into the graduate school. We support athletics. We support Honors College. So now we're into the medical schools, and the College of Veterinary Medicine is agreement. So it's just spread. There is not probably a place on campus that we don't have a footprint. And that's the way the network works. It just keeps growing.
I've been in different spaces in career service here at MSU, and there's been so much that's changed. Now that we have the model and we have the network kind of in place, now that we're ready to go, what do? So no longer do we just engage students, but what's that critical impact? And I think that's something we're really fine-tuning right now. But I think once we identify that big picture piece, we're going to be able to break down some walls. We're going to be able to leverage student resources and student leadership in a way that's going to change the campus.
The reality of what's happening at Michigan State University is that a foundation is being laid for students to think about who they are as whole beings, to think about all of the domains of their development and to incorporate that into who they become. As we move toward the future, I sincerely believe that our current common purpose across student affairs and services units, we inspire Spartans to grow, will help to lead us and to guide our plans and our practices as we go forward. I believe that the Career Services Network will be an essential part in that experience for students and in what happens for the campus community broadly.
The mission statement of the Career Services Network is we drive purpose. And I think it's so fitting for what we do. We challenge students to think about their purpose. We challenge them to explore it, to affirm it, and then drive toward it. But we also serve as a catalyst for the campus as we challenge Spartans and inspire Spartans to grow.